My name is Laure, and by profession, I'm an attorney. I'm the executive director of Lawyers Concerned for Lawyers of Pennsylvania, which is the Lawyers, Judges, and Law Students Assistance Program in the legal profession. Those of us in recovery, if you turn back to your younger years, you can kind of see all the flags connect, but until you get into recovery, you can't really connect the dots. So it actually started at a young age, but it really manifested itself. I was in a car accident in law school and prescribed pain medication, which literally lit a match of addiction that I was unable to put out, eventually leading to arrest for me calling in my own prescriptions. Subsequently gave me the lead and the foundation to start my journey with recovery. If I wasn't given that opportunity of a year to sit in jail and regroup and reorganize, I have no doubt that I would be dead today. I've always been an animal lover my whole life. I grew up with dogs, and I just wanted to find a way to give back is when I decided that I was going to find something and actively pursue it so I could make a difference in the animal advocacy world. It wasn't even intentional that I adopted 2 pit bulls. In fact, when I started volunteering in 2013, I opened one of the cage doors and I didn't secure it with my foot. And the bottom line is a dog got out and was running up and down the kennel. It didn't try to attack me, but it tried to bite me, so I wasn't able to put the leash on its neck. Ultimately, that dog did not survive because they have a zero tolerance policy, even though it was honestly my fault that happened. So then I decided after that incident, of course, I showed up 2 days later with a bandage on my hand and said, I'm going back. I'm not going to let this scare me away. And I decided I would walk the dogs that were safe for me to walk, that were that breed, because I didn't want to have a stigma fear. And so I started doing that. I would walk my dog in the neighborhood and people would literally cross the street. And I know from my own life experience, when I would tell people I'm a person in recovery, people would immediately frown upon me. They didn't care what other credentials or how long you've been sober. Immediately you were in a subclass or subcategory. I mean, that was my own personal experience. I saw a parallel with the breed pit bulls. And the more I worked with them, the more I realized that the stigma was just an illusion. So I decided, I was going to use any means I had available to me, including education, the legal profession, on literally breaking the stigma of addiction, mental health, and pit bulls. And that was a program that we completed, as well as taking my second rescue dog, Amazing, to places that were dog friendly, like TJ Maxx, having her volunteer with memory care folks on the dementia unit, taking her to law schools with me. The fight was worth it because the stigmas, like I said, are completely an illusion. Somebody needs to start somewhere and start doing action in the community. And that's where I felt, I was empowered to do that because I have a platform in the legal profession to do that. And that's exactly what I've done. Second chances. Well, I think for those of us that are lucky enough to get one, and I have to honestly say, received more chances than so many people I know. And I think because I know that and I'm keenly aware, try to help other people. But unless I physically cannot do it, I say yes, because if the cards were fair, I know I would not be here. I bring both of my dogs to my office, Amazing and Grace. I bring them to work when I'm not traveling. Amazing is literally like the breed ambassador for pits. So she goes everywhere, whether she's in a cart at TJ Maxx, sitting on the lap of someone in the memory care unit who otherwise was staring at a wall, and now all of a sudden they're petting her and communicating with her. Often on the memory care dementia unit, they ask me, what breed is she? And I know that if I said pit bull, they would literally get in their wheelchair and roll away. And if you say pit bull, it's almost a trigger word that people, get concerned about, or now they need to fear for their safety, and I walk my dogs every day. Neighbors stop me, and say, well, they're so well behaved. They're very friendly. This is very surprising. And I just think literally they have shifted, at least the people in my life, their view of pit bulls. And quite frankly, they've shifted my view of pit bulls. I have to say, the question posed to me was, do I have any regrets? And I honestly have to say no. I really do not think I have any regrets. I'm certainly not a perfect human, but my path is what has given me the platform to do what I do now. And my struggles with addiction have turned me into a kind, generous, compassionate person that I was not before. My heart changed through my addiction and subsequent recovery. And if I changed anything and never was on that trajectory or path, I would not be the person I am now. Folks like Dave did for me by showing up and sharing his recovery story with me when he didn't know me. It was just somebody else that said, hey, reach out to her. That's kind of like in the animal world when I pay it forward and I show up on Sundays. These animals are in cages. Their only hope to get out is if volunteers show up to do it. So for that moment and that day and that 30-minute walk, I am their Dave. I am showing up to say, here's the outside. We're going to go for a walk. We're going to sniff grass. We're going to roll around in the grass because one day, hold on to the hope you're going to get out of here. There are great parallels between second chances, the recovery story, showing up for others with blind faith, paying it forward. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the life we all have, those of us in recovery, it's because somebody else gave it to us. I mean, I think I just rocked that.
I think you did.